Well, hello and welcome back to my personal lifestyle channel. What we're going to be doing in this video, we're going to be doing a life lesson teaching, and what we're going to be talking about in this video is ethical maturity. We're going to be talking about when does a boy become a man. This is key point number 7 coming right up. Well, as you know, I found an article that I've studied for a long time. It's called basically, it's a question: when do boys become men? And I've been making a playlist on this, and key point number 7 is ethical maturity. You can see that right up there. What is ethical maturity? Well, it's sufficient to make responsible decisions. So, what does it mean? To be a man is to make decisions. One of the most fundamental tasks of leadership is decision making. The indecisiveness of so many contemporary males is the evidence of a stunted manhood. Of course, a man does not rush to a decision without thought, consideration, or care. But a man does not put himself on the line in making a decision and making it stick. This requires an extension of moral responsibility into moral ethical decision making that brings glory to God, is faithful to God's word, and is open to moral scrutiny. Parents often leave their sons unprepared for this role by making decisions for them and by failing to teach boys how to think and reason in responsible terms, how to weigh evidence and think clearly, and how to prioritize values according to the biblical standards. A real man knows how to make a decision and live with its consequences, even if that means he must later acknowledge that he has learned by making a bad decision and then by making the appropriate correction. I think that's a pretty good little teaching there. As you know, what I like to do is I like to go a little bit deeper into Google searching on what each one of these key points are. So as I researched the internet a little bit, I came up with this. I think this is a pretty good definition. Ethical maturity is the ability not only to judge right from wrong, but to make the right choice when issues in conflict require the individual to weigh competing values when making social ethical decisions. So, what does it mean? The ability not only to judge right from wrong. That's highlighted in black on this. So the ability not only to judge what is right and wrong, but to make the right choice when issues in conflict require the individual to weigh competing values when making social ethical decisions. So I go down here and I look at, I see ethical maturity and successful leadership, ethical maturity in helping professionals, making difficult work decisions. Then I see ethical maturity, making ethical decisions, part 2. What is ethical maturity? Let me click in there. It's a blog from coaching by Eve Turner. Let's see what pulls up here. One thing this article says is what is ethical maturity, and this is a blog that was written by Carol M. and Shaw E. Ethical Maturity in the Helping Professionals, London. But this says, I have been thinking about this recently with some concern, even over the phrase. Ethics involves the tradition in moral philosophy which go back thousands of years. And it says Carl and Shaw's book makes clear the challenge we all face in making decisions from our process, connections between decisions and the practical implications, impact on stakeholdings, both people and more broadly, such as the environment and our own stage of development. There may be codes of ethics by professional bodies, but these cannot possibly do more than provide a helpful guide in best practice. There are infinite situations in which our ethics are being exercised daily, and there can be no rule book except in a few situations, like not giving misleading information. In the end, if we want to be ethically mature, considering issues around mortality and ethics on our own values, the key seems to be to control the development or to continue to develop our ability to be aware of our own views and how they carry through into our own decision making. So that's a blog that was written based on this book of um, Carol and Shaw's book, Making Clear Decisions. Okay, that's something that you can keep in mind. It says keeping up with the date. Okay, and what else is something of interest in here? Let's take a look. Not really a lot about it in the concept of ethical maturity. So let's Google how to be more ethical mature. Wonder if that'll give me something. How to be more ethically. Don't you just love how I just do this on camera so you can just kind of follow along with me? I don't know the answers to some of these. My dad never taught me. Of course, my mom didn't do that either. Mature. What is ethical maturity? Well, that just gives me the same definition as I found before. Ethical maturity and successful leadership. I guess if you're making decisions between right and wrong, I mean, maybe that's a form of maturity. But there's really not much on the internet about that. Let me jump into this article here about ethical maturity and successful leadership. It says abstract. Like I said, there is not a lot about it here. Ethical maturity is ability not only to judge right from wrong, but to make the right choice when issues in conflict require the individual to weigh competing values when making social ethical decisions. While a universal metric for describing ethical maturity does not exist, scales of professional maturity development based on the work of Kohlberg is useful for analyzing subordinates' ethical maturity. To be professionally successful, leaders must themselves be ethically mature, and they must seek to increase their subordinates' ethical maturity. Mentoring on ethical maturity is discussed, included specific programs that leaders can use to achieve moral maturity without their company. Well, let's go back to our definition there. So, ethical maturity is sufficient to make responsible decisions. So, let's go back and let's ask how we can be responsible for making mature decisions. How to be more responsible for making mature decisions. Let's see if that something comes up there. So, how to be more responsible for making mature decisions. Here's something that comes up. It says, how can I make my decisions more mature? Well, maybe this is helpful. How to be more confident in your own decisions. Number one, be aware of what you want. The best way to make a decision is to know what your goals are. Okay. Number two, ask for advice, but make your own choice. Number three, listen to your gut. Number four, make sure you are in the right frame of mind. Oh, that's a big one right there. Number five, learn to trust yourself. And number six, practice, practice, practice. Making confident, mature decisions. All right, there you have it. In what ways can you show that you are responsible in decision making? And here is what it says: responsible decision making, the ability to make constructive choices about personal behavior and social interactions based on ethical standards, safety concerns, and social norms, the realistic evaluation of consequences of various actions, and a consideration of well being of oneself and others. That makes sense, right? What are three tips of making responsible decisions? Here's 8 more. Tips for making decisions. Don't let stress get the better of you. That makes sense. Number 2, give yourself some time if possible. Number 3, weigh the pros and cons. Number 4, think about your goals and values. Number 5, consider all the possibilities. Number 6, talk it out. Number 7, keep a diary. Number 8, plan how you'll tell others. Wow, there's really not a lot here that talks about it. Well, my friends, what is an example of responsible decision making? For example, they may want to make friends with a transfer student while their peers decide to use the new kid as a target for bullying. If your child chooses to befriend the student anyway, they're showing that they are capable of making responsible decisions. That's a good idea, huh? I found here 5 steps of good decision making. 5 steps of good decision making. Let me slide over and put these on the video screen next to me. Let's look at these 5 steps to good decision making, as you can see up there. I think this will help. Step 1, identify your goal. One of the most effective decision making strategies is to keep an eye on your goal. Good job. Good choice. Number 2, step 2, gather information for weighing your options. Gather information for weighing your options. Good deal. Step 3, consider the consequences. I think that's a good one. Step 4, make your decision. Make your decision. And step 5, evaluate your decision. My friends, I think a lot of the times we don't really take into consideration some of these things that we need to think about when it comes to making good decisions. Ethical maturity has a lot to do with making the right decisions in the face of the wrong in the world. Well, my friends, I hope you got something out of this life lesson teaching. I'm trying to identify with these things myself. I never had a father figure that taught me all of these things. Honestly, I believe that there's a lot of dads that are in the home where the boys are growing up at that probably don't know a lot of these things. And I think that's why God led me to do this personal life channel. So it's separate from my ministry channel. So you understand that. So I think I'll go ahead and get this video edited and get it uploaded. One of the things that I've been doing is some home improvement projects around my house. I think that would be a good thing for you to check out. And we're entering into the Christmas season, so that'll be great when You're going to be seeing some videos around my house that have my Christmas trees up. But I've been working on my display case, and I'm on part three, which is all about installing the trim and getting it built into the cabinet around my bar. That my kitchen and my living room, they kind of join each other. It's an open space. But as you know, there's a display case corner cupboard in the corner behind my train table area where I'm trying to expand at. So I'm basically going to try to. Sorry, my friends, my eyes are hurting a little bit. These glasses help. Starting out a blue screen here. But I'm trying to get that cabinet done so I can empty out that corner cupboard so I can expand my model train layout. So I'm going to try also to get back into the heart refinement videos for my heart to heart refinement school, and also heart refinement for teens. Been waiting for some merchandise shirts coming in that actually have the logo of heart to heart refinement school on there. That'll be a good way to market it, and I'll wear them out in public, but I want to wear them in the videos so people see that and they'll be able to Google Heart to Heart Refinement School and find those sessions on YouTube. So, my friends, don't forget to check out this last Wednesday's Bible study. You'll see that right there. And if you have not watched this playlist from the beginning on When Does a Boy Become a Man, you'll see that right there. Until then, may God bless you. I'll see you soon.